This holiday, Verizon is helping you bundle up incredible gifts and savings. You'll get the latest phone with a new line on My Plan and a brand new smartwatch and tablet. No trade-in needed, even on our lowest price plan. That's 2 gifts for your family and 1 for you. Or 2 for you and 1 for someone else. Or 3 gifts for you and only you. Either way, you save big on 3 amazing gifts at Verizon. All on the best 5G network. Visit Verizon today. Rankings based on Root Metric Root Score Report dated 1/8/2025. Your results may vary. Service plan required for watch and tablet. Additional terms apply.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. Like, Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day. Yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
If you're a smoker or vapor, ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. Like, Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day. Yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
If you're a smoker or vapor, ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Hello, I'm Sarah.
I'm Toby.
And welcome to the Whispering Woods podcast. This episode is all about
The Wendigo.
Yeah, we're revisiting the Wendigo. Now, I've done a really brief kind of piece on what the Wendigo is, but if you want more information, one of our older episodes has more. And then we're taking a look at some real-life experiences. And I've chosen this because it's just right for the winter time. The dark half of the year is upon us.
Yes.
If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so by visiting patreon.com/The Whispering Woods, where we've got a number of tiers and you can listen ad-free. Yeah. I should say a little bit more about that. Okay. So for £2.50, you can listen to all of the Whispering Woods episodes ad-free, and for £2.50, you can also listen to the After Dark episodes ad-free, and for £4.50, you can listen to all of them ad-free, and that's a month. We're also on Apple Premium, where for $4.99 a month, you can listen to all of it ad-free. Right, we'll get straight into this now, shall we?
Yes.
Are you ready for the story?
Yes, I am.
And winter closes in across the northern American forests. The landscape feels older somehow. Colder. And the wind carries a thin whistling note. In places like Minnesota, Ontario, and the deep woods of Quebec, some say that sound is a warning. a reminder of an old terror that belongs to the Algonquin peoples. They call it the Wendigo. The Wendigo isn't a simple monster story. It comes from the spiritual traditions of several indigenous groups: Cree, Ojibwe, Innu, and Algonquin. The accounts vary, but the core idea remains the same: a malevolent spirit of winter, starvation, and insatiable greed. In the oldest stories, the Wendigo is not always a creature stalking the woods. Sometimes it's a force, a corrupting presence that slips into a person during desperate times, especially when hunger and isolation take hold. Once it settles inside someone, it drives them to violence, cannibalism, and madness. The transformation is said to be irreversible. Descriptions differ across regions, but folklore tends to circle around a few familiar features. Gaunt and skeletal, with skin stretched tight over bone, eyes sunken deep into the skull, a smell of decay or rot. Some later stories add antlers or a deer-like skull, but this is mostly a modern reinterpretation influenced by horror fiction and film. Older accounts focused less on appearance and more on the feeling it brings. A presence that chills the air, watching from between the black pines, waiting for the weakest to fall behind. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, European settlers recorded cases that they called Wendigo psychosis, a supposed condition where individuals developed an obsessive fear of becoming a cannibal. Many of these reports came from missionaries and fur traders who misunderstood indigenous teachings, but the cases became part of the wider mythology. One well-known historical example is Swiftrunner, a Cree man who, during the brutal winter of 1878 to 79, killed and consumed his family. He later claimed he had been overtaken by the Wendigo. Whether this was folklore, psychosis, or desperation, the story became one of the most cited real encounters. The heart of the Wendigo legend is a message. Unchecked greed destroys. In a land where winter could easily kill, hoarding food or harming others for personal gain was a serious threat to the community. The Wendigo became a way to teach that selfishness, especially in times of hardship, could turn a person into something monstrous. Even today, hikers in northern forests claim to feel watched or hear heavy footsteps pacing just out of sight. There are reports of tall, thin figures crossing frozen lakes at night, or voices calling from deep in the woods when no one else is around. Whether these are misinterpretations, fear, or something older lingering in the pines, the Wendigo remains one of North America's most enduring supernatural legends. The tale survives because the land still feels harsh, wild, and unforgiving. On long winter nights, when snow muffles the world and the cold steals the breath from your chest, it's easy to imagine something hungry moving in the dark, something that knows your name. The Wendigo endures, not just as a creature, but as a reminder of what waits when desperation takes hold. and how thin the line is between human and monster. For the purpose of this retelling, we will call the author Daniel Mercer. According to Daniel, the events took place when he was 16 years old, along an 8-mile stretch of rural road in Hamlin, New York. He and 4 of his friends, Brian, Mike, Ethan and Joe, had gone out for what was supposed to be a simple afternoon fishing trip. Their chosen spot sat beneath a bridge, about 1.5 miles from the nearest house, surrounded by farmland and open fields. The day had started normally. The boys joked, talked, and wandered along the roadside, grabbing squash and corn from the fields as they walked. They were excited to fish, smoke a little, and enjoy a night out when no one could bother them. For several hours, things were exactly that, quiet and uneventful. But sometime around 9:30 p.m, the atmosphere shifted. Before Daniel continues the story, he makes a point of mentioning something he feels is relevant. His friend Brian is of Navajo descent and takes certain spiritual and supernatural beliefs seriously. Daniel, an atheist, hadn't thought much about it at the time. But looking back, he wonders if Brian sensed something before the rest of them did. It started with dogs, or what they thought were dogs, barking somewhere in the distance, the sound echoing strangely across the dark fields, too loud and too numerous to make sense. The boys quickly ruled out coyotes. The noise wasn't yipping, just deep, continuous barking from what sounded like a whole pack roaming the night. Nerves rising, they made a group decision. It was time to head back. They had an 8-mile walk to Brian's house and a bottle of rum waiting for them when they got there. That was motivation enough. About a quarter of the way back, the mood shifted again, sharply. Brian, walking ahead, stopped abruptly in the middle of the road. Daniel, right behind him, watched his expression shift from confusion to outright fear. Without a word, Brian grabbed Daniel by the wrist and raised his arm, pointing out across the dark fields. Daniel squinted into the blackness. Something stared back. 2 eyes, huge, glowing, far too large and far too high off the ground to belong to any animal they knew, hung in the dark like floating orbs. Daniel described them as the size of footballs. Neither of them wanted to panic the rest of the group. So without explanation, they simply quickened their pace, forcing everyone else to follow. The barking continued somewhere behind them, steady and uncomfortable, as though something was tracking their movement from a distance. Halfway to the house, they passed a white farmhouse with a cornfield stretching across the road. That was when Daniel heard a sound like a low, fast-moving roar. Something heavy cutting through the air at speed. He described it as the way a small plane sounds when it buzzes overhead. A split second later, they saw the aftermath. A 40-yard path carved violently through the corn. The stalks flattened in a clean line, like something massive had just barreled through it. And still, those dogs kept following. By the time they reached Brian's house, adrenaline had overridden fear. The boys grabbed a 12-gauge shotgun and a bottle of rum and sat on the porch, trying to calm down. Off in the dark, those same dogs began to whine, not bark, but whine, as if frustrated or upset, the sound drifting across the fields. The encounter ended there, but the night wasn't finished with Daniel. After drinking to calm his nerves, he fell asleep, only to be jolted awake repeatedly by night terrors, images of eyes in the dark and something massive moving through the fields, returning again and again. He always felt that something was following them that night, something that watched them cross those empty fields, something that wanted them to know it was there. Whether it was a Wendigo or not, he admits he still doesn't truly know, but he also says this: he has never walked that stretch of road again. For the purpose of this retelling, we will call the author Avery Holt. According to Avery, the experience took place shortly after Avery's family purchased a thick, wild stretch of land in the Kootenays of British Columbia. The property was beautiful but overgrown, dense brush, uneven ground, and pockets of untouched forest, where light barely reached through the canopy. Avery loved it immediately. Avery's father, on the other hand, mostly saw the long list of work ahead. What puzzled Avery from the start was how quickly the previous owners had agreed to sell. They seemed eager, almost relieved, to be off the land. At the time, Avery brushed it aside as them being tired of managing so much wilderness. The family set up a trailer on the property. Avery slept in a small tent nearby because the trailer didn't have enough room. Nights were quiet, filled with the sounds of crickets, running water somewhere in the distance, and the occasional movement of deer in the brush. One evening, Avery and their father sat by the fire, watching stars slip through the tree branches. It was peaceful until the forest shifted. A sound ripped through the stillness, a shrill, drawn-out screech, layered with a guttural growl underneath. It was loud and unmistakably wrong, not human, but not like any animal either of them recognised. Avery's first thought was a bear or a cougar in trouble, maybe cornered. But the longer they listened, the less that theory made sense. There was a bear in the area. Avery could clearly pick out its grunts and huffs, but that wasn't the source of the horrifying scream. Another creature was involved, one they couldn't identify. The bear sounded aggressive and defensive, while the other creature shrieked like something injured or panicked. Avery and their father had both heard cougars before. This wasn't that. When the woods finally went silent, the two of them exchanged a look and agreed, without much discussion, that bed was the best option. Inside the tent a little later, Avery heard something large approaching the campsite. Not creeping, just moving. Heavy steps, slow and deliberate. Avery froze, listening as the creature settled near the tent, lowering itself to the ground with a weighty sigh, like it intended to stay. Avery feared the worst. The shrieking thing had followed them. It was outside. But after a moment of gathering courage, Avery peeked through the tent window. It wasn't the unknown creature. It was a black bear. And instead of fear, Avery felt a strange sense of calm. The bear looked back with wide, steady eyes, not aggressive, not startled, Avery later described it as a feeling of being protected. The forest snapped again, with a sudden shriek, closer now, much closer. The bear went rigid, its muscles tensed, and it rose to its feet, letting out a deep, rumbling growl, aimed at the darkness behind the trees. Something huge moved in response. Avery heard branches breaking, the thud of heavy footsteps, much larger than the bear's, moving away at speed. Instinctively, Avery turned toward the sound and caught a glimpse of the fleeing creature. It looked deer-like, but wrong, tall, skeletal, with long, thin, pale limbs ending in hooves. Its body was smeared in something dark that looked like dried blood. The creature tore through the trees as if they were saplings, sending wood splintering in its wake. It stopped far off at the tree line and let out one more bone-shaking shriek. Birds erupted from the branches, scattering into the night. Avery turned back toward the bear. The animal had sat down again, its posture relaxed, watching Avery calmly, as though nothing unusual had happened at all. That night changed the way Avery felt about the wilderness and about bears. He no longer fears them, only respects them. Because on that strange night in the Kootenays, it felt like the bear was standing guard against something the forest itself didn't want to name. For the purpose of this retelling, we will call the author Bradley Knox. According to Bradley, the encounter happened in 2019, in the backcountry, near the area where he grew up, not far from the Alabama state line. It began as an ordinary reunion between two old friends. Bradley had just returned home after being discharged from the US Marines. One of the first people he visited was his longtime friend, Jacob, someone he'd known for a decade. They caught up quickly, and before long, Jacob suggested heading to a secluded hangout spot, an old forgotten dock his ex-girlfriend had once shown him. Bradley agreed. He grabbed his gun, and the two of them drove out into the woods. The dock was half rotted and crooked, the boards swollen from weather and neglect. The area was silent, except for the wind pushing through tall pines. After 30 minutes of joking around and making up for lost time, Jacob brought up a subject Bradley hadn't thought about in years. The recent uproar of strange creatures people claim to be seeing in the woods. Bigfoot, skinwalkers, and something older, a Wendigo. Jacob told Bradley a local belief. If you walk into the woods and say the creature's name 3 times, it will reveal itself. Bradley didn't buy it. Even with the years of discipline behind him, something about the name unsettled him, but he refused to show it. He told Jacob to prove it. That was the moment he would come to regret. They walked 20 minutes into the woods. The ground was soaked from days of rain. Every step released water from the soil. When they felt far enough in, Jacob dared Bradley to do it. The forest around them went unusually still. No birds, no insects, only the quiet sway of pine branches above. Bradley took a breath and spoke the name. Wendigo. 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 Nothing happened. Relief washed over him. Bradley and Jacob immediately started teasing each other, laughing off the whole thing. Then the laughter died. Something moved in the distance. Bradley's marine reflexes kicked in instantly. he turned toward the sound. It wasn't one noise, it was multiple. Moments later, a small group of coyotes darted across the path ahead, 30 feet away. Bradley relaxed for a moment, but something didn't feel right. The animals were running away from something, not toward them, away. That was when Bradley decided they needed to leave. The two of them turned to head back, when a sound cracked through the forest like a gunshot. A deep groan followed by snapping wood. A pine tree began to fall. Without delaying, Bradley shoved Jacob forward just as the trunk crashed down between them, shaking the ground. Jacob screamed in shock as Bradley vaulted the fallen tree and dragged him to his feet. Jacob was panicked, almost crying, but Bradley didn't stop shouting at him to move. Halfway down the path, a voice echoed through the trees. Jacob, come quick." It was the voice of Jacob's younger sister, Olivia. Jacob froze, trying to push past Bradley, but Bradley grabbed him and yelled, "Jacob, look at me. It's not her. Do you hear me? It's not her." Before the words fully sank in, another pine tree began to groan. Bradley reacted instantly again, tackling Jacob to the ground as the second tree slammed down where they had been standing. They scrambled up. Bradley pulled his gun, turned back toward the trail, and held his aim as he shouted for Jacob to get out of the woods. Jacob ran for the clearing and then realised Bradley hadn't followed. "Bradley, get out of there, come on!" Bradley backed away slowly, then turned and sprinted. 50 feet into the clearing, he stopped. Both men had turned at the same moment, and that was when they saw it. The creature that stepped into the trail behind them was nothing like a bear or a coyote. Bradley described it as around 9 feet tall, standing upright on skeletal legs. Its skin was paper pale, stretched tight across its bones. The limbs were impossibly thin, almost frail-looking, yet its presence radiated something predatory and intelligent. But the worst detail, the one Bradley says he'll never forget, were the eyes. A bright, unnatural blue, glowing like electric light. The Wendigo stared at them without moving. Bradley lifted his gun and fired. He didn't wait to see the impact. Jacob was already sprinting toward the car, and Bradley turned and ran after him, adrenaline pushing both of them, until they were safely inside and speeding away from the woods. That night was Bradley's first encounter with what he believes was a Wendigo. He hopes and prays it will be his last. For the purpose of this retelling, we will call the author Caleb Warren. According to Caleb, the encounter happened at 3 a.m. on October 31st, 2020, a full moon Halloween. Caleb and his friends had a tradition of taking late-night walks together, often through woods or along quiet back roads. Usually there were 4 of them, but that night their host Ben had 6 people over, so the whole group set out for a hill with a Verison Tower at the top. It was one of their favourite places to stargaze. They barely reached the halfway point before the atmosphere shifted. Even for their group, accustomed to midnight walks, something felt wrong. Unease crept in as they climbed, the trees thinning, the moon washing everything in a pale glow. That was when Nick, the oldest, the calmest, the one who never joked about anything supernatural, lifted his flashlight and swore under his breath. Nick rarely swore. When he did, everyone paid attention. The beam of light cut across the trail, landing on something standing about 20 paces ahead. 6 friends froze at the same moment. A figure stood just beyond the reach of the path. Around 8 feet tall, white as fresh snow, thin to the point of skeletal. Long limbs, long arms, a body so narrow it looked almost impossible. Caleb says every one of them saw it. No one imagined anything. The reaction was immediate. Silence, shock, and the kind of fear that tightens your chest. Before anyone could speak, the figure bolted into the woods with inhuman speed. For a moment, the group simply stood there, breathing hard, trying to confirm what they'd just witnessed. Caleb tried to convince the others to turn back. Whatever they had seen, it wasn't normal and it wasn't safe. But Ben, who had always been loud, confident, and dismissive of anything paranormal, insisted they continue up the hill. He wanted to prove he wasn't rattled. So they pressed on. Less than a minute later, a sudden crash exploded through the trees. A tree didn't simply fall, it was yanked down, ripped from its position with force. Caleb knew the sound well. He'd cut down enough trees to recognise the difference. They argued, frightened, but again pushed forward. Another minute, a rustle, a sharp, painful chirp, a bird crying out in distress. By the time they reached the clearing at the top of Wendigo Hill, the air felt electric. The hilltop, mostly open ground, gave them a clear line of sight back down the path. They scanned the tree line, staring into the area where the thing had run. Ben kept insisting he wasn't afraid, but Caleb could see his friend's hands shaking. No one lingered. They agreed to run the half-mile back down the hill. Once they reached the house, the bravado collapsed. Ben, the skeptic of the group, broke down crying. He had never believed in anything supernatural, but he couldn't deny what he'd seen that night. None of them could. Caleb still thinks about it, still remembers the tall white figure standing on the path, still hears the tree splitting, the bird's cry, the uncanny speed with which it vanished. They've been back up Wendigo Hill since that night, but nothing has appeared again. The trail is quiet, empty, ordinary, but Caleb says he is certain of one thing. Whatever they saw on that full moon Halloween, it wasn't human, and he has no doubt that it was a Wendigo.
This holiday, Verizon is helping you bundle up incredible gifts and savings. You'll get the latest phone with a new line on My Plan, and a brand new smartwatch and tablet. No trade-in needed, even on our lowest price plan. That's 2 gifts for your family and 1 for you. Or 2 for you and 1 for someone else. Or 3 gifts for you and only you. Either way, you save big on 3 amazing gifts at Verizon. All on the best 5G network. Visit Verizon today. Rankings based on Root Metric Truth Score report dated 1/8/2025. Your results may vary. Service plan required for watch and tablet. Additional terms apply.
I am a coach and an alum of Girls on the Run. Kids today carry a lot of stress, from school pressure to social isolation to overuse of devices. We create a space where girls can connect, build confidence, and learn skills like managing emotions, setting goals, and speaking up. Each child's experience is different, and families need support. I'm proud to be part of a comprehensive solution to youth mental health. Get involved today at EmpowerOurFutureCoalition.com.
I love to think of the Wendigo. Do you know what I mean by that?
No.
Like, as a creature with deer horns and things like that, I love it. And I also love that film, I think it's called Antlers, where it's his dad is a Wendigo. It's not explicitly said, I don't think, but I really love that film. I think I'm going to have to watch it again because it's just the right weather. It's just the right time of year to watch snow, Wendigo stories.
Yeah, if only it could snow here.
Well, it's still quite early. it's only November. It's only early December, so I'm still in November. So we could still get some. And I'm trying my best here to be like a little bit Christmassy this year.
Yeah.
Because I'm not appreciating Christmas. But I'm going to try my best. I've got games in. I'm really going to try. And if it snows, that would just be the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Not literally, but it would kind of look like icing on a cake, wouldn't it? If you know what I'm trying to say. It looks like icing on a car. When you get snow, it looks like icing.
No. Sorry, I don't. I know it makes frost on a car. It makes weird, cool shapes.
Yeah, so pretty.
But I don't know about frosting.
No.
And it is frosty, in it, but it's not frosty.
Yeah, but when you get snow on a car, it does look a bit like it's cake.
All right, whatever you say, mate. Well, that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
We will indeed. We will catch you tomorrow for the ghost story. Take care, everyone.
Goodbye.
This holiday, Verizon is helping you bundle up incredible gifts and savings. You'll get the latest phone with a new line on My Plan and a brand new smartwatch and tablet. No trade-in needed, even on our lowest price plan. That's 2 gifts for your family and 1 for you. Or 2 for you and 1 for someone else. Or 3 gifts for you and only you. Either way, you save big on 3 amazing gifts at Verizon. All on the best 5G network. Visit Verizon today. Rankings based on Root Metric Root Score report dated 1/8/2025. Your results may vary. Service plan required for watch and tablet. Additional terms apply.
Hey, folks, it's Mark Marin from WTF. Today, I want to talk to you about Boost Mobile, offering reliable nationwide coverage backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. Love your service or get your money back, no questions asked. Boost Mobile offers the coverage, network speed, and service you're used to, but at more affordable prices. Why pay more if you don't have to? You can get an unlimited plan for $25 a month that will never increase in price, ever. No price hikes, no multi-line requirements, no stress. Visit your nearest Boost Mobile store or find them online at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 per month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
If you're a smoker or vapor ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
The stories told on the Whispering Woods are inspired by historical records, witness reports, and local folklore. While every effort is made to research and represent events accurately, some details, names, and locations may differ from official accounts or have been changed out of respect for those involved. These episodes are created for storytelling and entertainment purposes and should not be considered definitive fact or investigative journalism.